Kilo Charles 3, India Oscar Tango in Delaware, standing by.
Who was that in Delaware?
Kilo Charles 3, India Oscar Tango.
Roger, Roger. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor, Kilo Victor. Jim, Juliet Indy Mike here, Roger.
Hey, Roger that, Jim. Roger that, Jim. How are you today?
Doing pretty good. Conditions are a little flaky right at the moment, kind of coming and going, but they were very stable there for a few minutes ago for a long time, Roger.
Yeah, Roger that. I was listening to you and the other fellow talking, and you guys are coming in here pretty good. You were coming in here 5'9", and at times 10 going to 20. Back to you.
Roger, Roger. Let's see, what kind of mic are you running there?
I have a Kenwood MC60.
Roger, Roger. Sounds good. Might could use just a little less bottom end. If you had a frequency control to roll just a tad off the bottom, might help your cut a little bit, Roger.
How's that right there?
I didn't notice a bunch. Sounds, maybe like 100 cycles, 200 cycles roll off, somewhere in there.
What exact frequency are you on? I'm on 7189.
Yeah, Roger, that's where we are, Roger.
Okay. Okay, now, I'm a little new to this, so what would I do to bring you in a little better?
On receive, to copy my signal better?
No, so you hear me better.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not sure what kind of radio you have. Do you have any kind of equalization in your mic circuit?
Negative. I had the speech processor on, but I have a Kenwood TS430S.
All right. Do you have what kind of processing does it allow you to do? Is just compression?
Yeah, it just has the button for the speech compressor. In fact, I'll click it off and tell me if that makes it sound better. Okay, that's put it off. Does it sound better there?
Well, no, you need that. It helps you get out when you get a fatter signal, and that compressor lets you do that, Roger.
Okay, so what other, let's see, I have IF shift, RIT, that's about it, other than the mic gain.
Roger, I think you probably have pretty much, everything adjusted within your realm of capabilities. The only better thing to do additionally would do what's called EQ, equalization, which would allow you to shape your audio just a little bit, and that would be to punch up the highs a little bit more and to roll off maybe a little bit on the bottom end, Roger.
Roger that. Well, I don't have the equalizer. I haven't got that deep into it.
I understand. Well, you're sounding good. You are sounding good. You're definitely making the trip down to Louisville, Roger.
Roger that. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. I tell you, I used to come into Louisville. I was a trucker for over 36 years. And I used to go to that little drop yard up there in Louisville and pick up loads of liquor. You probably know the drop yard I'm talking about. There's a restaurant on that road that was painted pink and white. I can't remember the name of it to save my life because I'm going back to the 90s. But they hauled all the liquor loads into that yard.
Roger, I'm not really familiar with that. You got me. Was it? Now, see, I'm I'm not actually in Louisville. I'm in Indiana, just across the river from Louisville. The Ohio River runs between us, Roger.
Run your call sign back to me. I was in the process of writing it down, then got to talking about my audio and whatnot. Run your call sign back to me again, please.
Roger, the call is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor.
QSL. By the way, the handle on this end is Harry. The handle on this end is Harry, and I live in Lincoln, Delaware. That's approximately 15 minutes north of Rehoboth Beach, and approximately 28 miles north of Ocean City, Maryland. Back to you.
Roger, and could you come back with your call sign phonetically, please?
Kilo Charles 3 India Oscar Tango, and I'm on QRZ.
Okay, so I get that as Kilo Charlie 3 India Oscar Ted. Is that a Roger?
Affirmative.
All right. Conditions are kind of shifting around there just a little bit, Harry. I don't know if we're going to be able to, make the QSO or not. Come on back and let me hear you there.
Yeah, I'm only doing 100 watts. I'm just using the radio for now. I'm trying to get my antennas together. Right now I'm running off of a 40-meter dipole, home brew. But I'm getting my Elmer to make me some other dipoles for 40 and 20 and 15. 11 and 10 that I can put up and have everything resonant and see what I can do with it. Back to you.
Roger that. Now, what kind of microphone are you running now?
It's a Kenwood desk mic, MC60. I was told that the MC90 is better. When I find one, I'll grab it up. But for now, I'm running the MC60.
Alrighty, and I'm assuming that it's kind of a long mic, make like 6 inches or so?
Exactly. If I choose, I could take it off and hold it in my hand. Like one of the mics you find in a studio, or if you're using a PA system, something of that sort.
Roger that. Now, in lieu of equalization, sometimes you can do a mechanical type thing that will help you shape your frequency response a little bit. I've used this quite a bit before. I call it the CRISPR, and it's you can use like a piece of cardboard and just shape it kind of round like the microphone is, and stick it out in front of the, use duct tape to keep it together, and set it out in front of the microphone, over the microphone, where it sticks out about 2 inches or so. And what that will do, it will condense your volume, your voice vibrations into the microphone, but at the same time it will shape them to a crisper frequency response than what the microphone would just by itself. Roger?
Yeah, Roger that. Well, what I plan to do, Wednesday night we have Bible study. I'm going to check up at the church where I'm an elder at, and also a bishop, and see if they have any of those extra microphone covers that we use on the mics up there. And I'm thinking that might make a big difference, because most of the microphones I see have that little foam cover over the top of it. Back to you.
Roger that. The foam cover is just to keep the transients out of the microphone. In other words, when you work a microphone real close, there's a tendency for it to sputter when you speak. There's a lot of things that happen in your voice that if you get real close to the mic, which is probably what you want to do, but this windscreen keeps those plosives from coming through the microphone. Roger?
Roger that. Well, one thing I wanted to get myself another D104 to put on here. I have the stock mic for it, and I have the desk mic, but I really want to run a D104 on the lollipops on here.
Roger. Now, a lot of folks run those, and those are really neat microphones. They want to work into a high impedance. If is that a powered microphone or just a non-powered?
Well, I would get a powered mic, but turn it down low. That way, I don't have to be right up on it, and at the same time, I would get some of the highs and some of the lows that come from it.
That's a Roger. Well, what you want to do, that's the best way to do it there, if you can use the amplified version, because then tying it to your radio is not as critical as would be if it was actually a D104 without the amp, because D104, the cartridge, is a real special cartridge that wants a real high impedance to work into, and most radios today are like 600 ohms or in that vicinity. So they wind up losing their bottom end because because of that mismatch of impedance. So, and that's the main problem usually with D104, is that it sounds tinny, and the reason it sounds tinny is because they're running it into a low impedance, whereas if they ran it into a high impedance, that microphone would have real good quality throughout the band. But since you're going through an amp on the microphone, then that solves the problem of the cartridge, because the cartridge is working into the amplifier at the right impedance. All you have to do is turn it down to to go into your radio. Roger.
Roger that. Yeah, I have one now, but I'm not going to change it. I have it wired up for my Browning Golden Eagle Mark III, so I'm not going to change it. But like with my Yaesu, I have a Yaesu FP101EX. I have a Turner Super Sidekick that I can use with that if I want to. But I found the vintage Yaesu desk mic and put that on there, and I've been running that back to you.
Roger. That's the Sidekick is a nice mic too. I've got one of those. I've got a D104 and also a Shure, the classic Shure mic. But what I'm using now is a homebrew condenser microphone into an ART preamp into a third octave equalizer. So it's on a swing arm. So swing arms are neat, man. If you can, get you a swing arm, because you can always put that mic exactly where you want it. Roger?
Yeah, roger that. I thought about that. I actually thought about getting the swing arm with the Heil microphone and setting that up on it, maybe with a foot pedal. And just see how that works out for me. Back to you.
Roger. Well, Bob Heil makes a lot of nice microphones, and I'm sure that that one, any of them, would probably do you a real good job. If you can find one that does have the ability to EQ the audio just a tad, that's a really nice thing. That's the final. Well, not the final, but that's a nice ability, is to be able to EQ that microphone right down to the nitty-gritty. Roger?
Roger that.
Contact.
rather than get a microphone, it sounds like I need to get an equalizer.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you really want to custom that microphone, an equalizer is a nice way to go because you can shape it just exactly the way you want it to sound, Roger.
Roger that, roger that. How much do those equalizers run, roughly?
Well, it depends on what kind you get, Mine is just a third octave equalizer. I think like $100 for a third octave equalizer used. The most important thing, though, is that it be, have a metal shell, a metal case. At least in my case, when you get a bunch of RF floating around in your Radio Shack, you want to keep the RF out of the AF. And if your audio equipment is in metal cases, then you can ground that and eliminate a lot of the residual RF that's trying to get into the audio always.
Contact? Okay. I was talking to my Elmer about that because I was telling him my voice actually comes through a speaker that I have external. And it also comes through the internal speaker on the radio a little bit. Not much, just a little bit on this frequency, but on higher frequencies it comes in even more. And he was thinking that there's an issue with RF getting out somewhere in here.
Roger, there's another station in there. Go ahead, other station.
Oh, thank you, my friend. The call here is KD8YGQ. My name is Jamie, and I'm in Steubenville, Ohio. You fellas are really sounding good here. I thought I'd sneak in here and kind of get your opinion. I've been playing with some EQ settings myself. Kind of curious to how we sound, ever.
Put some tape on it. That's where you want it, right there. Just get you some duct tape and tape all those knobs so you don't move them.
I prefer super glue, my friend. I got a super glue. I thought I had it pretty close, but I was just wanting someone else's opinion. Playing a new radio here, fresh out of the box, Yaesu 450D, over.
Roger. Well, you got tons of modulation, and it's all in the right shape.
Oh, thanks, guys. I appreciate it for letting me in there. Top of the evening, like I say, you all sounded really good here in Steubenville, so nice to meet you, KD8YGQ.
Roger. What's the name up that way?
Name here is Jamie.
Roger, Jamie. 3Z away, sir. You are sounding beautiful, so just keep it that way. I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah, I've been playing with these EQ settings for about a week now. And one time I get them to where I think it sounds good, and someone will say, well, I don't know. Then I go back to playing with them again. I think you're the second person today that told me that this was good, so I think I'm just going to lock it down here.
Roger, well, there is an inherent difference between local rag chewing and distant rag chewing because you're not always in favorable conditions, and so you usually want a little compromise there, that you're be able to talk to somebody in a distance with less than perfect situations, and also to rag chew closer to where you have better signals, and if you're really all ganged up in that, absolutely no bottom end and sound like a tank or something, then it makes it on the long run, but on those quiet things, it just gets unnerving because it's so processed. But I think you have struck a compromise there, sir.
Oh, thank you, my friend. I appreciate the help.
Roger, anytime.
We'll let you guys go. I'll sit back and listen. KD8YGQ, Steubenville, Ohio. Thanks, guys.
Anytime. And back to you, Harry.
Hey, well, one quick thing, Harry. Flip that MC60 over. There's a switch on the bottom where you can change your impedance from 50 to 600 ohms. See what it set on and flip it. Give that a try. See you guys. KDAY GQ.
Harry, I don't know if you copied Jamie there, but I think he was talking about your microphone. Now check the bottom of it, see if you have a switch. All right, try to put that switch in the other position. Let's see what it does. Talk to me again. Maybe go back. I'm not copying you at all that way. Is that you?
He's off frequency.
Harry, you may have hit your VFO there or something. We are on 7189. Roger, roger.
K89 CAC mobile.
Check your VFO 7189, 7189. Mobile, stand by just a moment.
Okay, I'm on 7189 with you.
All right, now about that switch on your microphone, are you back to the original position?
Negative. I still have it in the other position.
All right, flip it back to the original position. Well, my signal from you is quite low right now. It's hard for me to tell. There was a mobile out there. We'll let him go, and then we'll get back to this. Mobile, go ahead.
Yeah, this is Kilo Delta 9 Charlie Hotel Charlie up here in Orcon, Wisconsin. Good evening to you.
Good evening. Come back again with your call sign, please.
Kilo Delta 9 Charlie Hotel Charlie.
Roger, roger. And the name?
Ron, Romeo, November.
Roger, Ron. And what you running in that mobile?
I'm running the ST450B Prana High Q antenna, ALS 500.
Roger. And your output power is?
What?
Your output power?
I'm only driving with like 60 watts. I ain't looked at the meter here. Probably doing about 450 or 400, something like that.
450 watts in your mobile?
Do what?
450 watts in your mobile?
Yeah, I ain't looked at the meters on the other side. I ain't really looked at it, but yeah, I'm doing about that.
Roger. Well, congratulations, sir. You are a dedicated ham radio operator, and with that kind of power, you're going to make a lot of contacts, Roger.
Oh, yeah, I make quite a few, as a matter of fact, but anyways, I don't know what your TTH is, but I got a good copy, and I just thought I'd jump in there and, say howdy more around. I think I've talked to you before. Your voice sounds familiar, but anyways, I know you were trying to get that one guy's audio straightened out or something, I think it was, so we're going to clear out of here then. KD9 CC Mobile.
Roger, Ron 3's that away. Our location is near Louisville, Kentucky. We're just across the Ohio River from Louisville in Indiana, so you're making the trip there. Sounding good. 3's.
Yeah, that's what I remember. I live in Indiana, too. I live in Sweetwater Lake. I think you know where that's at.
I think you got me on that one. I'm like I say, just across the river from Louisville.
Yeah, you know Lou down there, don't you? Lou lives down there in GTO?
Of course, yeah. Lou's my buddy.
Yeah, I've talked to you before. I know Lou. Personally, I met him a few times, So, anyways, we won't keep you sounding good. KD9 CC Mobile.
Roger, Ron 3's that away, sir. We'll catch you later. Sounding good. KZ9VKV. And back to, where were we there? Harry?
Roger, that mobile up there going 400 watts. You sounding good here in Delaware.
You may not have a copy. Now, Harry, we're on the original switch position, Roger?
Roger that.
All right, go to the other position and give me a call.
Okay, that's position number 2 back at you.
Ooh, I like that one. Now, do you have an adjustment on your compressor, the driver that, your audio compressor? Do you have an input level control?
Not that I see.
All right. Well, just come back and talk to me just a little bit, Harry. Let me hear that microphone that way.
A control that controls my wattage.
Now, this would be, do you have an audio gain control on the radio, maybe, or something?
I have something that says RT, RIT, and then the IF shift. Then it says RF and AF, which AF is the volume control. I do know that much.
Well, I think you sound a whole lot better with that switch in that position. You have a lot more top end in that position, Roger.
Roger that. Roger that. I'm going to make it my business to get a equalizer, and I was trying to avoid it, but I guess the best thing I can do is get it, because it's going to enhance any microphone that I put on here.
Well, that's true, but right now you're doing real great. The sound of that microphone, I think, is about a 300% improvement with a lot more top-end articulation, Roger.
Roger that, roger that. One day I'm going to have to get somebody to Watergate me and let me hear what it sounds like coming back.
Roger, Roger. Well, I am rolling some audio on this QSO. We have a QSO vlog page on YouTube, and if you go to a call letter search of Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, that'll take you to my QSO vlog page, and right at the top of the page there's one that has about 140 or 50 QSOs, and if you click on that, like I say, I have been rolling audio on our QSO, so you can hear the whole game, Roger.
Roger that, roger that. Okay, I'll do that. All right, well look, I'm not going to tie it up. I'm going to let somebody else get in there and talk. I don't want to be what do you call it, frequency hog. But anyway, it was good talking to you, and I appreciate the help. I'm going to wish you 71st and have yourself a fine day. KC3 IoT. Kilo Charles 3 India Oscar Tango. I'll be clearing on the side listening.
Roger, Roger, Harry. 3's that away, sir. We'll catch you later. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor.